A few miles outside the city of London, England, there was a switch track on a railway. Presently, a lone green diesel came to the switch. He was pulling no train, but he had one passenger on board him. He blasted his horn once. It was a long, slow blast. Then he followed it with two more short ones. The switch was immediately set in his direction. The diesel smiled, and then he rolled down into a siding. Soon, the diesel arrived at a switch. It was near the end of the siding, and this was his destination. He spoke. "I am here, sir." An oily voice replied. "Have you brought along your passenger?" "I have, sir," said the green diesel. Good, came the oily voice. "Now, where is he?" "I am right here," came a voice. A man stepped out of the cab of the green diesel. Well, said the oily voice. P.T. Boomer, so wonderful to see you again." "It's nice to, see you again too, I suppose," said the man. "Now, you must have called me here for a reason. What is it?" "I have a proposal to make to you," said the oily voice. "And what might that proposal be?" asked Boomer. "The proposal is this. An exchange of, let us say, commodities." "What sort of commodities?" asked Boomer. "Well, you see, my commodity that I can give to you is information. The one you can give to me is assistance." "What sort of information do you have?" said Boomer. "Well, let's see," said the oily voice. "I can lead you to her." "Her," said Boomer. "Who is her? Or who is she?" "She," said the oily voice, "is a female engine. A steam engine. I believe you've met before, and I don't know if you particularly like each other. Do you see where I'm going with this?" A malicious smile slowly crept across Boomer's bearded face. "Yes, I do. But what sort of assistance can I give you?" "It's not just you," said the oily voice. "You have a gang at your command, as I believe." "I do," said Boomer. "What about them?" "They can do things that we engines cannot do. Our alliance would make us, to say the least, powerful." "And what are you trying to accomplish?" "What's the catch here?" "That is for you to find out. We'll discuss it later, but first, do we have an accord?" Boomer thought for a minute. Finally, he said, "Yes, we have an accord then." Diesel 10. As the sun rose over the mainland, the sun was also rising over an island known as Sodor. The crack of dawn meant the beginning of work for train engineers, and many were already readying their engines. One engine, who lived at the sheds in the city of Tidmouth, was already ready. His name was Thomas. He puffed out of his shed happily to greet the day. "Rise and shine, everyone," called the cheeky little blue tank engine. "It's morning already. Everyone should get up. You've had your sleep now. Come on, let's go." "I haven't had my sleep," said an engine. This engine was Henry, He was a long green engine. He was very fast and very strong. "Why haven't you had your sleep?" asked Thomas. "You had the whole night." "Because," said Henry, "Gordon was snoring again." Gordon, who was a long blue express engine, puffed out of his shed indignantly. "I do not snore," he said. "Well, who was it then?" said Henry. "I could have sworn it was coming from you." "Do you know who I think was snoring?" came a voice. This time it was James. He was a red mixed traffic engine. "No, who do you think was snoring, James?" said Thomas. "I think," said James, "it was..." He paused dramatically. "Duck." Duck puffed out of his shed. He was a Great Western tank engine, and he had the GWR logo on his sides to prove it. "Beg pardon, James," said Duck, "but just what makes you think that I was snoring last night? Maybe it was you." "No, I don't think so," said James. "You know, I think I heard whoever was snoring last night going whack, 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 whack. Whack, 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 whack." Gordon and Henry laughed along with James, but Duck and Thomas did not. "Leave him alone, James," said Thomas. "What's Duck ever done to you?" "Well," said James, "there was this one time when..." "Will you guys please excuse me? I'm trying to sleep here," came a voice. It was a small little green tank engine called Percy. "Good morning, Percy," said Thomas. "How are you doing today?" "Sleepy," said Percy. "Someone was snoring." "We know," said Henry. "We were just discussing that. I say it was Gordon that was snoring, but James thinks that..." "Oh, stop arguing already," said a voice. It was Edward. Edward was a tender engine about the same size and shape as James, but he was much older, and he was blue. "Arguing doesn't get us anywhere," he said. "I think what we should do is wait till Sir Topham Hatt comes and gives us our jobs, and then we can go off to work." "Agreed," said Duck. Just then, Sir Topham Hatt walked up. Sir Topham Hatt was the controller of the Sodor Railway. "Good morning, engines," he said. "How are you all today?" Sir," asked Duck, "are you all right? You look a little, battered." "Battered? Me?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "Oh, well, my wife was a little angry with me this morning. So she..." "Beat you up? Lady Hatt?" said Edward. I wouldn't say beat me up, per se, but, oh, never mind. Just remind me never to sleep with a megaphone over my nose again." "Never sleep with a..." "Shut up, James," said Percy. Meanwhile, Gordon and Henry exchanged glances. Gordon's was a glare. Henry's looked sheepish. "Anyways," said Sir Topham Hatt, "I suppose you're all wondering what you should do today. I have your jobs for you. They're all the usuals, actually, except for you, Thomas. I'd like you to stay behind for a moment." Sir Topham Hatt stepped aside off the turntable. Then the engine set off to work. Edward was the first to leave. "Goodbye, everyone," he said. "I'm off to my station." And he puffed away. Next to leave was Gordon. "Poop, poop. Goodbye, little Thomas," he said. "Don't get in trouble today." "Ha, ha, ha." And he rushed away to find the express coaches. Duck was next to leave. He went to work on his branch line. Percy went off to find some mail coaches to pull. Henry went to find a goods train. And lastly, James left the shed. "Goodbye, Thomas," he said. "I'm going to go pull the express." No you're not, James," said Sir Topham Hatt. "That's Gordon's job. You're going to take a coal train. It's waiting for you at..." "A coal train?" said James. "A coal train? But, sir..." "Regions do not argue with their controllers," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Now off to the coaling plant." James set off, but he was grumbling as he left. Now only Thomas was left in the shed. Sir Topham Hatt walked over to him. "Thomas," he said, The yard has just not been the same since you left to run your branch line. I believe I've said that before, but not to anyone in particular. Anyways, I'd like you to go do some shunting work in the yard for a few days. Oliver is there, and another engine. They'll help you out. Please show them what to do. Maybe we can get the yard running properly for once. But sir, said Thomas, who will take care of my branch line? And my coaches, Annie and Clarabelle? Toby can help, said Sir Topham Hatt. Do you trust him with your coaches? Well, I suppose I do, said Thomas. Toby was a steam tram, and a good friend of Thomas's. Good, then, said Sir Topham Hatt, and Bertie the Blessed can help with your passengers, too. Is that all right? Yes, sir, said Thomas. Now, off to the yard. Sir Topham Hatt stepped aside, and Thomas puffed out of his shed. Puffed onto the turntable, and then hurried away. Oliver was also a Great Western tank engine. Usually he worked on his branch line with Doc, but today he had been ordered to shunt in the yard, just like Thomas. Thomas came puffing up to Oliver. Hello, Oliver, he said. Nice to see you again. A pleasure to see you again too, Thomas, I'm sure. Now, Sir Topham Hatt says that the yard hasn't been running quite properly, and that you are to show me how to, make it run properly. That's kind of what he told me, said Thomas. Right, said Oliver. Well, we better get to work. Hang on a minute, said Thomas. Sir Topham Hatt said there would be another engine here helping too. Well, there is, said Oliver. Well, who is it? Said Thomas. But just then his own question was answered. Around the bend came Diesel. Diesel? Said Thomas. You're the other engine who's helping with the yard work? That's correct, said Diesel. Are you happy to see me, Thomas? No, said Thomas. Diesel laughed. Of course you are. But soon you will be. I'll get this yard running like it's never run before. Not in a good way, I suppose, said Oliver, but he said it quietly. Diesel had not heard. Anyways, said Diesel, your worthy, Sir Topham Hatt, hopefully that will keep Duck happy if he happens to be listening in on us right now, which I highly doubt, has instructed me to listen to you, so that you can tell me how to, shunt better. But you see, he is mistaken. I do not need to learn anything. I am a Diesel, and we Diesels are revolutionary. I don't think so, said Oliver. Duck told me that the last time you tried to be Reva-thingamajig, you ended up, well, let's just say, pulling things apart, eh? The silly freight cars in the yard remembered this incident. They started giggling.
We remember what happened to Diesel,
they said.
Let's sing about it.
Oh no, said Diesel.
Cars are waiting in the yard, tackling them with Diesel. Show the world what I can do, gaily boasts a Diesel. In and out, he creeps about, like a big black weasel. When he pulls the wrong cars out, pop goes the Diesel.
Grrr, growled Diesel, and he oiled away. Well, let's get started anyways, Thomas, said Oliver. Right, said Thomas. Well, the first thing you gotta know is... Before Thomas had gotten his branch line, working in the yard had been his job, and he knew all about it. The yard had always run smoothly when Thomas was there, and now he was teaching Oliver all of his old tricks. Just remember, said Thomas, think ahead. You've got to know when trains are coming and what they're going to be pulling. Right, said Oliver, think ahead. Don't leave things until the last minute. Exactly, said Thomas. Diesel was quite impressed, although he wouldn't admit it. Well done, Oliver, said Thomas. You're learning quite quickly. You're an excellent teacher, Thomas, said Oliver. Why, thank you, said Thomas. Other engines came to take the trains away, though it seemed as though no sooner had one train been taken out of the yard, another one would be brought in. Presently, Thomas and Oliver were waiting for Bear, the diesel, to come and take away his train, but he was late. Just then, the yard foreman walked up. He looked worried. "What's wrong, sir?" said Thomas. "Bear isn't coming to take his train." "Well, we've noticed that." "No, seriously, he's not gonna come. He had to help Peter Sam, the narrow gauge engine. An explosion happened aboard Peter Sam's train, and..." "An explosion?" said Thomas. "Is Peter Sam all right?" "He's heavily damaged, but they think he'll pull through." "Well, that's good at least. Anyways, luckily, well, semi-luckily, the incident occurred near one of our lines. Bear was passing at the time, so he's the one who's taking Peter Sam to the works. Meanwhile, there's no one to pull this train. How are we going to get it to the docks?" "I can take it for you, sir," said Thomas. "You? But we need you here at the yard. You have to do the shunting work. Sir Topham Hatt's orders." Just then, Sir Topham Hatt himself walked up. "Hello, everybody," he said. "Has anyone seen my, Dunkin' Donuts? I think I left it over here somewhere." "Sir," said Thomas, "can I—" and he explained the situation. "Well, I suppose you can take Bear's train. It has to get through, doesn't it?" "Yes, I suppose it does," said the yard foreman. "Well, go ahead, Thomas." "I better go fill up on coal first," said Thomas. "I'm running low." "Well, off you go then," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Here, Dunkin' Donuts! Here, Dunkin' Donuts!" Something is seriously wrong with that man. So Thomas puffed away to find the coal station, and the yard manager walked away back to his office. Just then, Diesel rolled quietly into the yard with a truck full of rocks. "Thomas thinks he can tell me what to do," he said. "I'll pay him out for this. Right now." He banged the car hard. Rocks flew everywhere. One of them hit the oil tanker and caused a dent. Oil began leaking out. "Diesel," said Oliver, "what have you done?" "Oops," said Diesel innocently. "Sorry, I guess I better go get someone to clean this up." And he rolled away. The rocks had all been put back in the freight car by the time Thomas got back, and by now he was full of coal. Unfortunately, no one had noticed that the oil tanker was leaking. "Well, I'm off. See you later, Oliver. And, bye, Diesel." "Goodbye, Thomas," said Diesel. He seems kind of happy," said Thomas. "Diesel's never happy. I wonder what's up." But he didn't have much time to think about it, because at that moment he puffed away. The cars started playing tricks and singing as Thomas entered the quarry. "Stop that," said Thomas, and he gave the cars a bump. Mavis, the quarry diesel, was watching, and so was Boko the diesel. As Thomas puffed through, they noticed that the oil tanker was leaking. He must have bumped it too hard, and now his car is leaking. "I hope nothing goes wrong," said Mavis. "Me too," said Boko. Soon, Thomas arrived at Brendam Docks. "Ahoy there, matey," called Salty the diesel. "How goes it with you?" "Hello, Salty," said Thomas. "I'm fine, thanks. I'm just bringing down Bear's freight cars for him." And he explained the situation to Salty. "Ah, well, things like that happen sometimes, I suppose," said Salty. "So, how have the docks been these days? Anything new?" "Well, let's see," said Salty. "Cargo being unloaded at the quay, one cranky barge, one even crankier cranky, one responsible little lifeboat." "Don't call me a lifeboat," said Captain. "Oh, and of course," said Salty, "lots of seagulls flying around, and a big blue shining sea. Clouds overhead, though not many today, thank goodness. And, well, that's about it. Nothing that new. I'm sorry, said Thomas. Oh, it's not all bad. I love the sea. The sea is like, oh, I don't know, a big flower opening, and you can just whiff the air and know it's there, and hey, that reminds me of a story. Thomas smiled. Salty stories took a long time to tell, but sometimes they are entertaining. Just then, they heard a frantic poop, poop, help! It's Gordon, said Thomas. I wonder what's wrong. It was Gordon, speeding towards the docks with an express train. He was trying to stop, but the oil was making the tracks slippery. Up ahead, a freight car was sticking out of the siding just a little bit too far. Gordon shut his eyes. Cinders and ashes, cried Thomas. What a mess! While Salty hurried away to find Harvey in the breakdown train, Thomas's driver got out and inspected Gordon's coaches to see if there was anyone in them that was hurt. He came out of the coach closest to Gordon, looking very worried. It wasn't long before Harvey arrived with the breakdown train. Bertie, the bus, also arrived. He was to take the living passengers back home. The other one would get to ride to the hospital in an ambulance. Just then, Boko arrived. Sir Topham Hatt stepped off of him. He surveyed the scene and the ambulance. Oh dear, he said. If what is happening is what I think is happening, oh, this could be a disaster, even though I did find my Dunkin' Donuts stuff. Before boarding on the bus, one of the men walked over to Sir Topham Hatt. Are you Mr. Hatt? That I am, but it's Sir Topham Hatt, or just Sir Hatt is fine. Or actually, you can call me... Never mind that, said the man. You're the controller of this railway? I am. And thus you should speak to me, or rather address me as... Oh, shut up, said the man. Listen here, Hattie. I'm taking you to court over this. My wife just got killed in an accident, and I'm holding you responsible. My brother is an attorney. We'll have you sued for sure. You might as well pay up now. And then the man angrily walked away. After the man boarded Bertie backed up and drove off. Oh dear, said Thomas. Now what's gonna happen? I don't know, said Sir Topham Hatt. Most likely he'll try to sue me. And, well, knowing my luck, he'll probably succeed. But we'll just have to see. Say, Gordon. Yes, sir, said Gordon. Why didn't you stop at Brendam Docks like you were supposed to stop? Because, sir, said Gordon, I couldn't. Honestly, I tried, but something was making the rails very slippery. Said Sir Topham Hatt. I wonder what that was. I think I know, sir, said Boko. Boko, yes, you have an idea? Well, yes I do, actually. You see that oil tanker there? It's leaking oil, and I can see a trail of black oil leading all the way back up the hill and as far down the track as I can see. Sir Topham Hatt looked at the oil tanker, and then at the track. I believe you're quite right, Boko. But how did it get there? Well, the oil tanker's leaking, obviously. Well, I know that, but why is it leaking? I did see Thomas bump this train when he was coming through the quarry. Maybe when he bumped it, well, it broke? That's impossible, said Thomas. Oh, no. A few days later, Sir Topham Hatt came to speak to the engines at Tidmouth Sheds. Well, said Percy, how did the, trial go, Sir Topham Hatt? Well, Percy, said Sir Topham Hatt, that's why I came here today, to talk to you about this. Let me just say that, no, I didn't win, and the man did indeed sue me. Now I guess I'll tell you how much. How much what? how much money I had to give up to him because he sued me. Well, go ahead, sir. We're ready, I hope. Alright, here goes. I just lost £800,000 to that man. £800,000, said Doc. That's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, Doc, but I'm afraid that's how much it was. I was planning on building a new station, but with 800,000 less pounds, well, that doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Well, just wanted to let you guys know. Guess I'll leave now. And Sir Topham Hatt walked away. For the next few days, Thomas noticed that none of the engines were speaking to him. Not even his two best friends, Toby and Chris. Only Edward seemed willing to talk to Thomas. "Edward?" asked Thomas. "Yes, Thomas?" said Edward after a pause. "Do you know why all of the other engines are just kind of ignoring me? I think they're upset with you because, well, they think you caused that accident where the passenger died. Well, I kind of think so too. But, you know, I've caused accidents before, and this is different, Thomas," said Edward. "Someone died in this accident. It's worse than anything that's ever happened on this railway. Well, almost anything. Anyways, I'm sorry, Thomas, but if, like, Gordon or someone sees me talking to you like this, well, they might start not talking to me either. But take care, Thomas." The guard's whistle blew, and the green flag waved. "Goodbye, Thomas," and Edward puffed out of the station. The next day, things were no better for Thomas. Nor the day after that. Nor the day after that. After about a full week of this, Thomas had had enough. "There's no place on Sodor for me anymore," he decided. "I guess I'll just leave and not come back." He talked this idea over with his driver and fireman, and they agreed. They too had been shunned by their fellow drivers and firemen. So they filled Thomas's firebox with coal and his tank with water, and then Thomas set off, out of Tidmouth sheds and away from his friends. All night long, Thomas traveled, and he didn't look back, not even once. At long last, Thomas came to a bridge. It was the bridge off of Sodor, the bridge to the mainland, to the other railway. "Here goes nothing," said Thomas. "Sodor, goodbye, and thank you for everything." Slowly, Thomas crossed the bridge, slowly but surely. And it wasn't long before he came to the other side. He didn't know which way he should go when he met the points, so he just decided to go wherever they were pointing, and that he did. A few minutes later, a guard walked up onto the bridge. It was his turn to do the night shift. In the distance, he could see some engines. Eventually, they neared the bridge, and eventually, they stopped, but one of them kept going and came right onto the bridge. A man stepped out of it. He was holding a gun. May I help you, sir?" asked the guard politely. I don't know, Diesel 10. Can he help us? Well, let's see, said Diesel 10. No. Wait, please, stop, said the man. But it was too late. Percy was sound asleep at Tidmouth Sheds. He was dreaming about the new station that Sir Topham Hatt had said he was planning to build. In his dream, he was puffing into the new station. He was almost there when suddenly it exploded into a pile of money, and then the money disappeared. No, said Percy. He was mumbling in his sleep now. No, Thomas, the oil, you can't, Sir Topham Hatt. Oh no, stop, wait. Freeze! Shouted a voice. Percy woke with a start. Through the windows in his shed door, he could make out a bald man pointing a gun at the sheds. Who are you? Asked Percy. Who's there? Said the man. I'm Percy. My name is Percy. I'm a tank engine, see, and... Quiet up, then, said the bald man. You there, he said. Percy could make out the figure of another man. He was pointing a gun at Duck's shed. Open up all of these doors. See how many engines are in here. The man did so. First he opened up Gordon's. Who are you? Said Gordon. What are you doing here? The man ignored him. Then he opened up Henry's. What's going on? Said Henry. But the man didn't answer him. Then he opened Thomas's shed door. Hey, what gives? There's no engine in this one. What? Said Percy. Where's Thomas? I heard that, said the bald man. He fired a warning shot. Luckily, it didn't hit anything except the roof of the shed. I don't know who you guys think you are, said Edward, but I'm coming out there right... Oh, I don't have a driver. Ha ha ha. You're helpless without your drivers and firemen, aren't you? Said a third man. This one had long brown hair. The man continued opening doors. Here's that tank engine that was speaking to you, he said to the bald man. Then he opened one more. It was James. The driver and firemen of James were still in James's shed, drinking cocoa. What's going on? They said. Get down on the floor, said the man. But down on the floor, said the man. The driver and fireman did so. James said, Hey, I can't get down on the floor, I already am. I wasn't talking to you, said the man. All right, said the man with the long hair. Let's round 'em up. Wait, what are you guys' names? Why should we tell you? Said Edward. Yeah, said Doc. What are you doing here, breaking into our sheds? I'll tell you why you should tell me, said the man with the long hair. You see this thing? It's called a gun. I can blow you guys up if I want to. Now, what are your names? Fine, said Edward. My name's Edward. And over there are James, Percy, Thomas. Actually, Thomas isn't here, said Percy. What? Said Edward. Where is he? I don't know, said Percy, but he's not in his shed. Thomas, said the long-haired man thoughtfully. Hey, isn't that the guy the boss said we really want to find? Yeah, said the bald man. But from what I'm hearing, these guys are pretty valuable too. Anyways, said Edward, over there are Henry and Gordon and Duck. Why are you called Duck? Said the man with the long hair. I prefer it over my real name, which is Montague. Personally, I wouldn't want anyone laughing at me. Quack, 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 I go. Quack, quack, quack. Ha 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 ha. Oh, shut up, said Duck. Anyways, come on, let's round 'em up. So the long-haired man got in the cab of a long yellow diesel. And the diesel coupled up to Duck. Hey, where are you taking me? Said Duck. I don't know, said the diesel. Where am I taking them? Just take them down to the docks or something. We'll sort it out later. Meanwhile, down at the quarry, Diesel 10 was waiting. Just then, Diesel came up. Well, said Diesel 10, how are things going? Last I checked, said Diesel, Ari and Britt were rounding up Oliver, Donald, and Douglas, and they're wondering where they should put them. Put them in any shed that has open space, said Diesel 10. But just remember, engines 2 through 8, I want down at the docks. Why? Said Diesel. Because, said Diesel 10. Well, let's just say we're having a bit of a problem finding Thomas. Seriously? Said Diesel. Isn't he in his shed? No, otherwise we would have found him by now. Diesel 10 clanked his claw menacingly. I'm sorry, sir, said Diesel. I didn't mean to offend you. But, do you have any idea where he is? No, otherwise I would have found him, growled Diesel 10, and he clanked his claw once more. Said Diesel. I'm sorry, sir. But, anyways, why you want them down at the docks? And what does that have to do with not finding Thomas? Well, you see, said Diesel 10, this was my backup plan. Since I can't find Thomas will have to come to us. We'll find him eventually. He's probably not even on Sodor, if he knows about the invasion. I mean, what other reason could there be for him not being on Sodor? But how can he know about our invasion? I don't know. He's a smart engine, okay? Anyways, Thomas will come to us once we notify him that we have the island captured. And we'll put all his best friends, that's engines 2 through 8, and Bertie, that bus. Max and Monty should take care of him, I think. But anyways, we'll put them all down by the docks and put some sort of explosive by them, just to warn him that if he doesn't show up and give himself up to us, they will all be, well, you know. Diesel laughed maliciously. Just then, I heard the purring of Diesel's, and a female voice. Get your dirty buffers off of me, cried Emily. Seriously, it's Diesel 10, she said. That's right, said Diesel 10. And, you are? I seem to have forgotten your name. My name, said Emily. Hillary Clinton. Just let me go. Come on, you, said Dodge. Yeah, we're taking you to, where are we taking her? I don't know. I thought you knew. No, I thought you knew. But you were the one who... Shut up, Splodge, said Diesel 10. I did you guys a huge favor by letting me rejoin me after you abandoned me before I fell off that bridge. We didn't abandon you, said Splatter. I didn't. It was Dodge. No, you did it too, said Dodge. But you just admitted that you did it too. Oh, shut up, said Diesel 10. Take her to Knapford Sheds. That's where I just was, said Emily. Oh, said Diesel 10. Well, we had to make sure you were somewhere, so we found you, took you out, put you back in, I guess. Anyways, take her back. Radio, boss, said Splatter. Radio, boss, repeated Dodge, and they pushed Emily back. Ah, said Diesel 10. Soon this whole island will be mine. Actually, said P.T. Boomer, stepping out of Diesel 10, according to our agreement, the island of Sodor will be mine once we've captured it. You get to find Thomas in that pink engine. Bring her to me, I'll kill her, you know the rest. Oh, true, said Diesel 10. But it's mine, well, partially, isn't it? I mean, I'm the one who suggested this agreement in the first place. Yeah, whatever, said P.T. Boomer. Anyways, said Diesel 10, have you seen Sir Topham Hatt anywhere? Haven't found him yet. There's a lot of houses on Sodor. Say, by the way, how are we supposed to get rid of all these people? Oh, I'm sure you'll think of something. The citizens of Sodor are, well, pretty gullible. So I'm sure anything you say will go. Anyways, find Sir Topham Hatt and bring him, well, bring him down to the docks. Why, what's down at the docks? Oh, you'll see eventually, said Diesel 10. Goodbye. He rolled away. Soon, at Tidmouth Sheds, the yellow Diesel was humming away with Henry. Oh, this is terrible. It's just despicable, said Henry. Now only Percy was left, and James's driver and fireman were still cowering at the back of the shed. All right, you two, said one of the men. You guys can come over here now. We'll take you down to the docks along with, Penny here. My name is Percy. Oh, whatever. Now that's it, just step forward, very calmly. Suddenly, James's driver made a sprint at the door. Hey, what are you doing? He swung around the door, slid across Percy's side, and climbed into the cab. Get out of there right now, said one of the men. I'm warning you. But inside Percy's cab, James's driver had pulled the lever. Percy was starting to move. He pulled it harder, and Percy moved even faster. Come back here, cried the men. They fired wildly, but not a single shot came even remotely close to hitting Percy. He got away, they said. Just then, Spam Cam arrived. Hey boys, what's going on? Percy's getting away. Getting away? Yeah, he went, that way. I'll go after him, said Spam Can. He turned on the turntable and chased after Percy. Several minutes later, Spam Can puffed and puffed back to the turntable. Where's Percy? Asked the bald man. He got away, said Spam Can. How? Asked one of the other men. I don't know. Well, I do know, actually. We were nearing a switch. I had almost caught him, but just as he passed over the switch got changed, and I went in another direction. I don't know where he is now. Oh, the boss ain't gonna be happy about this, said the bald man. Yeah, he isn't, said the other one. After a long time, Percy started to run out of coal. He eventually came to a complete stop, just in front of some buffers. Oh, well, I'm exhausted, said Percy. And, oh my, this is terrible. Thomas is gone, and now it sounds like the diesels are invading. What am I gonna do? But with that, he was so tired that he fell right to sleep. But inside Percy's cab, James's driver stayed awake for a while, keeping a lookout, just in case any diesels happened to show up. Meanwhile, Thomas, tired but triumphant, found what looked like a station. His driver got out and examined the sign on the door. This isn't a station, Thomas, said his driver, but it's something much better. This is the office that belongs to the director of a railway. I'll see if he's inside. He knocked on the door. Come in, said a voice, so the driver went inside. He was inside for quite some time. Eventually he came back out. Good news, Thomas, he said. The director will have us on his railway. Great, said Thomas. At last I found a new home. He said that the sheds are just down the line. Come on, let's go. So he hopped back on board Thomas, and Thomas puffed off. Soon, Thomas arrived at the sheds. They were very small, and Thomas could only see one other engine there. But this engine looked familiar. Hello, said Thomas cheerily. Have we met before? Why, yes, I believe we have, said the other engine. My name is, Grant. Grant, said Thomas. Well, my name's Thomas. Yeah, now I remember. Didn't you come to, the island of Sodor once? Yeah, we told you stories in the shed about Duck and Diesel. Yes, I remember, said Grant. Yes, I brought in an inspector. I knew I could never trust those diesels. And now look what's happened. What's happened? Asked Thomas. I used to work on the other railway. Or that's what you guys call it, I think, said Grant. But then it got taken over by diesels, so I ran for it. I see, said Thomas. Well, I left Sodor for a completely different reason. And he told Grant about everything that had happened. Well, you'll be living a completely new life on this railway, Thomas, said Grant. This is called the Eurorail Railway. Eurorail, said Thomas, as in Europe? Yes, that's exactly right, said Grant. We travel all over Europe. There are other sheds all around Europe, and that's where all the other engines are staying. I see, said Thomas. Well, where do you go? Oh, lots of places, said Grant. Germany, France, Spain, all kinds of countries like that. That sounds like fun, said Thomas. Well, I'm glad to be working here. I guess I'll be accepted. I hope so, said Grant. It was then that a man walked up. Are you the new engine, Thomas, I believe? That's correct, said Thomas. Well, that's excellent. I hope you'll find yourself at home on this railway. Well, not really, said Thomas. This isn't, well, I guess it is my home now, isn't it? That's right, said the man. Well, my name is Mr. Crinkets. I'm the controller of this railway. I'll see you at work tomorrow. We'll see what you can do, I guess. And then he walked away. Well, good night, Thomas, said Grant. It's best we get to sleep. We've got a busy day tomorrow. Yep, said Thomas. Good night. And then they both went to sleep. Back on Sodor, Diesel 10's followers were capturing the last of the Sodor engines. These sheds are full, boss, said Spamcan. No room left in them. Well, there's room left in the other sheds. Take the rest to Wellsworth. Wellsworth doesn't have sheds, sir. What? It doesn't? Oh, well, just find space somewhere. But leave the quarry clear. And remember, only certain engines go to Brendam Docks. Yes, sir, said Spamcam, and he rolled away. Diesel 10 laughed. Well, he said, since I've taken away your drivers and firemen, of course, Boko there doesn't have a fireman, you guys won't be going anywhere. Obviously. He laughed evilly and then rolled away. Diesel 10's followers had put 7 engines in Tidmouth sheds, and now they were being held there, with no way to escape. Rosie, Bill, Ben, Oliver, Donald and Douglas, and Boko were all being held there. Oh dear, said Rosie, this is terrible, and there's absolutely nothing we can do, so we're just gonna have to sit here and be hostages, I guess. None of the other engines liked the sound of that. There must be something we can do, said Boko. There's gotta be a way we can fight back. There is, came a voice. Who's there? Asked Oliver. At first, no one could see anyone. But then Douglas spoke up. Oh, aye! There! It's a man! And indeed it was. A man in a loose brown coat with graying blonde hair walked up to the sheds. Who are you? Asked Ben. Yeah, said Bill. I don't recognize you. I wouldn't have expected that you'd recognize me, said the man. None of you have met me before. What's your name? Said Rosie. My name, said the man, is not important right now. I am looking for an engine. His name is Thomas. Do you know where he is? We haven't seen him for a while, said Bill. Yeah, said Ben. I thought I heard one of the diesels say he'd disappeared. Wait a moment, said Boko. How do we know we can trust this man? You have to trust me, said the man. I have to try and find Thomas. It's the only way we're ever going to be able to get you guys out of here. Why? Asked Rosie. Because, said the man, if what the diesels are saying is true, then Thomas is still running around free somewhere. If I can find him, maybe we can rally some help. It's hopeless, said Donald. There's too many diesels. It's not quite hopeless, said the man, and then he walked away. I do wonder who that was, said Oliver. Yeah, me too, said Bill. I don't know who he is, said Ben, but I hope he's right, that there's some way we can get out of here. If he is right, said Boko, I wish him good luck in finding Thomas, wherever he is. Do you know who I am? I am the Flying Scotsman. I am famous. I demand you release me at once. But the Flying Scotsman's pleas did nothing. Sleep tight, said a bronze diesel. Then he rushed away. Just then, a green diesel pushed Hank into the yards. Alright, you, he said. You can come over here with Mr. Flying What's-His-Face. Flying Scotsman, said the Flying Scotsman. Whatever, said the Green Diesel, and he too rushed away. The man who had visited Tidmouth Shed sighed. This is not going anywhere good, he said, but he said it so quietly that no one heard. He slipped in behind where Salty was being held. Well, here goes, he said, and he walked right into the buffers and disappeared. None of the engines in the yard had noticed this strange occurrence. Not even Salty. The next morning, Percy woke up. He thought he had heard a noise. He said. That noise kind of sounds like wheels on tracks. Could it be an engine? I hope it's not a diesel. It's not, came a voice. And puffing through the grain loader was Toby. Toby, said Percy. How did you're alive. Of course I'm alive, said Toby. I'm surprised I found you here. I was hoping I could come here and hide from the diesels. How did you get here? Well, I'll tell you, said Percy, and he told the story of what James's driver did. Impressive, said Toby. Well, I don't really know what's happening, but I do know that the diesels are up to no good. They're taking over Sodor. Well, then I guess you do know what's happening. Yeah, but I don't know why. Because they don't like Sodor? There's got to be more to it than that, said Toby, and I'm determined to find out why. Well, I don't think that's gonna happen, said Percy. We have to hide out here or risk getting caught. I know, said Toby, and I'm willing to take that risk. They'll find us eventually. We've got to find some way to get the diesels to tell us. Just then they heard distant voices. It sounded like diesels talking. They couldn't make out all the words, but they could hear the words quarry and big meeting. A big diesel meeting at the quarry, said Percy. Toby, that might be just the thing. I know, said Toby. We gotta go. We? Said Percy. I can't go. I'm no good. What am I supposed to do? You can help listen in, said Toby, and then if we're lucky, maybe we can get off the island and find some help. You're right, said Percy. I guess that's all we can do. Well, we better find a way to the quarry. Well, we can't just march right in, said Toby. First of all, we don't have legs. Second of all, they'd see us. There's a bridge running over the quarry, said Percy. We could hide up there. Good idea, said Toby. Let's do that. So James's driver started Percy, and then Percy and Toby set off to the quarry. It wasn't long before Percy and Toby arrived at the bridge overlooking the quarry. They hid behind the train. They thought that the diesels had probably taken the engine that was pulling the train and captured them, but left the freight cars and caboose behind. Thank goodness these cars are here, whispered Percy. Otherwise the diesels might look up and see us. And just look at how many diesels there are, said Toby. He was able to see through a crack between two of the trucks. And there were a lot of diesels. Toby and Percy could spot Diesel, Splatter, Dodge, Airy, Bird, Daisy, which was a surprise, Den, Spam Cam, Bronze Diesel they hadn't seen before, Bowler, Paxton, Dart, Norman, a yellow diesel, and a green diesel they hadn't seen before. Wow, look at all those diesels, said Percy. And look, there's people too. You're right, said Toby. Hey, I recognize some of those people. They were the ones that tried to take over Tidmouth Sheds last night. Were they? Said Toby. Interesting. And look, there's one up there, right next to Diesel 10. The man was wearing a black helmet and a black racing suit. I think I recognize him, said Percy. Isn't he called P.T. Boomer? That's right, said Toby. Oh, and look, Max and Monty are here too. I guess they've joined Diesel 10's forces. I guess that's so, said Percy. Just then, Diesel 10 clanked his claw. Everyone grew quiet. Greetings, my friends, said Diesel 10, from Sodor and elsewhere. Welcome to the island of Sodor, or if you already lived here, well, never mind. But anyways, I'd like to congratulate you all on a wonderful night's work. I'd like to especially give a special shout out to P.T. Boomer and his men. Boomer himself came up with the idea of telling the citizens of Sodor there was a radiation hazard. A sheer stroke of brilliance. Now we don't have to worry about those pesky passengers, continued Diesel 10. A chorus of horns, clapping and cheering echoed from Diesel 10's followers. Anyways, said Diesel 10, we still have a number of problems that need to be solved. For instance, we have not yet captured the small green engine named Percy. Percy gulped nervously. The tram engine, or as I like to call him, the old teapot called Toby, or that little blue puffball called Thomas. I have no idea where he is. So, over the next few days, Daisy, Den, and Dart, you three... Hey, that's an alliteration. Pretty clever of me, I think. But anyways, you three will lead the search party to go and look for those 3 engines. As soon as you find them, well, if you find Percy and Toby but not Thomas, bring them to Brendam Docks. If you find Thomas, bring him straight to me. Is that clear? Yes, sir, said all 3 Diesels. I wonder why Daisy's working with Diesel 10, said Percy. It sort of makes sense, said Toby. She is a Diesel. And do you remember that conflict we had while we were building the Sodor airport? Daisy took the Diesel side then, remember? Oh yes, I suppose it does make sense, said Percy. Then P.T. Boomer spoke up. The rest of you, he said, will be working with me, helping me with my, shipping plans. A number of ahs and oh yeses came from the Diesels and Max and Monty and the men. Just then, Percy and Toby heard the humming of another Diesel. Someone's coming, said Toby. Let's see who it is. I'm sorry I'm late, sir, came a female voice. Mavis! Cried Percy, much too loudly. A long silence followed. Just then, Spamcan happened to look up. Through the crack between the freight cars, he could just make out Toby and Percy. It's them, he cried. It's the little green puffball and the old teapot. Toby and Percy, cried Diesel 10. Get them! That's our exit cue, said Toby. Radio, said Percy, and they hurried away as fast as they could go. I'll get them, said Bowler. The track was switched for him, and he raced up the quarry mine tunnel. But unfortunately for him, he'd forgotten about the train ahead. He smashed into it and came off the track. Oh, he said, that hurt. Oh, enough of this, said Diesel 10. Splatter, Dodge, Diesel, come with me, we'll find them. Percy and Toby charged down the line. As they neared the yards, they suddenly stopped. There ahead was Dodge. I've got you now, he said. Hee hee hee. Behind them, Splatter came up. We've got you trapped, guys. You can't go that way, or you'll risk running into all your friends. Hey, look, said Molly. It's Toby and Percy. How did they get free, Sir Arthur? However they got free, said Neville. They're very clever. Percy, said Toby. I'm going to run into Splatter and knock him off the track. I'll come off the track too, but... No, that's suicide. You'll get yourself captured at least. I know, said Toby, but you've got to escape and find help. Now go! He coupled from Percy rammed into Splatter. Ow, said Splatter, and both, indeed, came off the rails. Toby, cried Percy. There's no time, said Toby. Just go. Percy sighed. All right, and he raced away backwards. Come back here, said Dodge, and he raced after Percy. Percy was nearing the drawbridge, but the drawbridge was being raised. I hope I can make it in time, he said. Dodge was right in front of him. I can make it, cried Percy. But he couldn't make it. Just as he got onto the drawbridge, it came up a little too far, and he was wedged between the top and the tracks. Aha! Said Dodge. We've finally captured you. Yes, we have, said Diesel. He was on the other side of the bridge. Ah, said Diesel 10, purring up. I see you captured him. Interesting method. But well done anyways. Anyways, Norman and Paxton are bringing Toby to the docks. You two can take care of Percy. Got it? Got it, said Diesel. Got it, said Dodge. Excellent, said Diesel 10, and he hummed away. A few minutes later, Diesel and Dodge pushed Percy into the docks. He buffered up to something. Hi, Percy, said Toby. Toby, said Percy. I'm so sorry I couldn't get away. Oh, quit the chit-chatter, if that's the right word. I think it's chitter-chatter, said Dodge. No, it's chit-chatter, said Diesel. I know what I mean. No you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. And the two rolled away, still arguing with each other about chit-chatter or chitter-chatter. Oh dear, said Percy. Toby, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, I'm sure, said Toby. You tried your best. Yeah, unlike the rest of us, we hardly did anything. Henry, is that you? Yes, it is, said Henry. And I'm not the only one here besides you and Toby. Who else is here? Said Percy. All of us, said James. I'm here, and obviously Edward is here, and Gordon, and Duck. I don't know if I would say obviously. Percy just got here. Whatever, said James. Quiet up, you guys, said Bert. I'm trying to work here. Work, said James. You're just sitting there. Whatever. Well, Cranky's working right now. Cranky was indeed working. You know, he said, joining up with you guys, Diesels, is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Why do you say that? Said Toby. Because, said Cranky, they're actually being nice to me, unlike you bugs. Yes, thank you, Cranky, said Bert. Percy noticed something. It was a jar labeled milk sitting on the quay. Bulstrode was also carrying a jar labeled milk. Why are the Diesels unloading milk at the docks? I have no idea, said Bertie. Bertie, said Percy, you're here. And don't forget me. Ugh, now we'll never get another donut. Sir Topham Hatt? Said Percy. That's right, said Sir Topham Hatt. So anyways, Percy, said Edward, Toby told me you infiltrated the Diesels' meeting. Did you hear anything? He'd better not have heard anything, said Bert. And if he talks, Actually, I don't know what I'll do. Whatever, said Percy. Just get out of here. Yeah, right you are. Well, my barrels are almost finished loading up anyways. And now they are finished. See you later. And Bert left. Well, anyways, yes, we did hear things at the meeting, said Percy. And he told them everything they had heard. Wow, said Henry, that's quite a bit of information. Though I still wonder why Mavis is working with them. Probably she was coerced. Coerced? Asked Percy. It means they forced her to. Really? Said Percy. But that doesn't make any sense. I saw Salty in the yard, and Derek. They were both captured, and they weren't working for Diesel 10. Interesting, said Henry. Well, we'd best not worry, said Duck. Help will come, you'll see. I doubt it, said Gordon. The only engine that's on our side, that's left free, is, well, Thomas, and we don't even know where he is, let alone if he's alive or not. Yeah, well, I hope he's alright. Hopefully he'll come and help us. I don't know, said Edward. If he gets the opportunity, he will. Or at least he'll try. But I don't know how he'll fare against all these Diesels. Hang on, said James. There's still one other engine on our side. Who's that? Said Toby. Lady. Lady? Said Toby. What would make her come and help us? She might not even know about this. I don't know, said Henry. She has those magic buffers to get here on Sodor, and... Who in the world is Lady? Said Duck. Oh, we'll explain that some other time, said Gordon. But anyways, hopefully she and Thomas will come. At least it'll be, well, more reassuring to see the both of them. Hang on a minute, Gordon, said Bertie. Just a minute ago I thought you said that help was not coming. Well, I suppose you guys are right. We can always hope and pray. Now, if only I could get my hands on some donuts. Maybe a nice cup of coffee and... Ugh, groaned Edward. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, Thomas worked on the Eurorail railway. He mostly shunted coaches in the yard, and he did so very efficiently. The yard had never run so quickly in London. Thomas also became very good friends with Grant. Thomas often shunted Grant's trains. "Thank you, Thomas," he would say. "You're welcome," said Thomas. "Where are you going today?" Grant would always be going somewhere different. Maybe it was Turkey or Poland, but Thomas would never know until Grant spoke up. Meanwhile, back on the island of Sodor, Daisy, Den, and Dart continued to look for Thomas, but their searches were always fruitless. Sometimes the search party helped with Boomer's shipping work, and sometimes the others helped look for Thomas as well. And down by the docks, Bulstrode, Cranky, the Diesels, and Boomer's gang continued to work with what appeared to be milk tankers and cans of milk. This baffled the engines and Sir Topham Hatt. Bertie the bus also found this puzzling, though he also did not like having Sir Topham Hatt leaning up against him all day. It was rather uncomfortable. On Thomas's 15th day of service for Eurorail, Grant fell ill. Mr. Crinkets, the controller, came to inspect him. He said. "Well, I guess you won't be going out to work today." "But there's a special train waiting for him," said Thomas. "You'll have to take it, Thomas. The yard will have to do without you." "Me?" said Thomas. "But the last time I tried to take someone else's train, things went terribly wrong." "You'll do just fine. Okay, Thomas? The train's going from here to Rome. I know you can do it." "Okay," said Thomas. "I guess I'll try." "That's a good engine," said Mr. Crinkets. "Off you go. The train's waiting for you at the platform." So Thomas hurried away to the station platform. Thomas soon arrived at the station. There was only one passenger waiting on the platform. He walked up to Thomas. "Hello there," he said. "I guess you'll be taking my train today." "I guess I will," said Thomas. "What's your name?" "Wayne," said the man. "Bruce Wayne. I'm going to Rome. I hope that's where this train is going." "Yes, it is," said Thomas. "By the way, what's your name?" said Mr. Wayne. "My name," said Thomas, "is Thomas." "Nice to meet you, Thomas. Well, please take me away." "Yes, sir." So the man climbed into the coach, and Thomas waited for the guard's whistle. Soon it blew, and the green flag waved. "Goodbye, station," he said. "I'm off to Italy," and he pulled out of the station. The engine on the other platform was surprised. "I wonder what a tank engine is doing pulling a train. Well, I hope he gets on all right." Rome and London are a long distance apart, so it was taking Thomas several hours to reach his destination. Despite the daunting fatigue instilled by the journey, Thomas pressed on. Thomas did not want to disappoint his new railway, or Mr. Wayne. On and on he boldly steamed across the European continent. When Thomas finally arrived at the station in Rome, he was very tired. Mr. Wayne stepped out onto the platform. There were a lot of people waiting for him. One held a camera and another a microphone. "Mr. Wayne?" asked Thomas. "Are you famous?" "Well, I'm rich. Let's leave it at that." "All right," said Thomas. As the woman holding the microphone began interviewing Mr. Wayne, Thomas decided it would be best to try and find the shed. So that's exactly what he did. Meanwhile, down at Brendam Docks, Thomas's friends were becoming more and more hopeless. So far, no help had come. Then Percy noticed something. "Hey, Cranky stopped moving. What's going on?" "Yeah," said Toby, "and look, all the diesels are lined up, waiting for milk." Come on, said Paxton. "What's going on up there?" One of the men stuck his head out the window of Cranky. "I don't know," he said. "Cranky ain't cooperating. Come on, you. Get moving." "No way," said Cranky. "Lately, said Cranky. "I've been noticing how you and your diesels have been, well, ever so slightly putting criticisms into your phrases, at least the ones you say to me." "Nonsense," said the man inside. "We're perfectly nice to you." He pulled some random levers. Instead of doing what the man wanted, Cranky swung his arm around and dropped his hook unhelpfully right next to Bulstrode. Why won't you cooperate with us?" "I just told you," said Cranky. "I will not move again." "Fine," said the man. The man climbed down. After making a call on his cell phone and waiting a few minutes, the man saw Boomer's motorcycle coming. Boomer was on board. The man went up and talked to Boomer. Boomer nodded. Then he drove away. The man walked over to where Cranky's hook was. He grabbed it and attached it to Bulstrode. Then he climbed into Bulstrode's cabin. "What are you doing?" said Cranky. He soon found out. Bulstrode started backing out to sea, pulling the hook with him. The hook in turn pulled Cranky's cable, which pulled his arm, which pulled Cranky. Cranky began to tip. "No, wait, stop," he said. "Seriously, I'll help you, I promise." But suddenly, with a splash, Cranky fell into the sea and began to sink. The engines were horrified. "Cinders and ashes," cried Percy. "Grease and oil," cried Dart. "Coffee and donuts," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Wait, are we describing things that go well together? Or did something happen back there that I just didn't see?" No one responded. A few days later, Thomas arrived back in London. Grant was waiting in the shed there. "Welcome back, Thomas," he said. "Thank you," said Thomas. "It's nice to be back here." "So, I see you're better." "I am," said Grant. "Well, that's good," said Thomas. "Say, isn't that an engine coming?" It was an engine, a small purple engine that Thomas thought he recognized, but he had not seen this engine for a long time. "Oh my goodness," said Thomas. "Is it really?" "It is! It's Lady!" "Thomas," said the small purple engine, "thank goodness I found you." "Thank goodness is right," said a man walking out of Lady's cab. "Burnett?" said Thomas. "What are you guys doing here?" Do you know them?" asked Grant. "Who's he?" asked Burnett Stone. "Well, I'll tell you later," said Thomas, "but first, what are you doing here?" "We came looking for you, Thomas," said Lady. "The island of Sodor is in trouble. They need our help." "How so?" said Thomas. "Diesel 10 is back. He's got more followers than ever, and now he's working with P.D. Boomer. They've taken over the island of Sodor." "Diesel 10?" said Thomas. "But I thought he was dead." "Who is Diesel 10? asked Grant. "I'm sorry, guys, but I just have no clue what you guys are—" "Never mind," said Thomas. "I'll explain it later. But I thought... "We all thought Diesel 10 was dead," said Burnett Stone. "Ever since that fateful day when he ironically crashed through those buffers, landed in that barge of sludge, damaged the barge and him, supposedly irreparably. I thought they'd gotten rid of him, put him in a dump." "I know," said Thomas. "But how is he back now?" "I don't know," said Burnett Stone, "but all your steam engine friends are captured, and your diesel engine friends." "This is terrible," said Thomas. "But what can I do to help?" "We don't know, but you're the only reliable steam engine that we knew." "But I'm just a tiny little tank engine," said Thomas. "What can I do to help? There's nothing. I'm not strong. I'm not a military." "No, Thomas, you're not an army," said Grant. "See, even Grant says so." "Listen to me," said Grant. "We don't have an army, but we could potentially have the police." "The police?" said Thomas. "What would get the police involved in all of this?" "My driver is friends with the commissioner of the police force in London. If we can get them on our side, we can take Sodor back." "Take Sodor back," Thomas repeated. "Sodor. But I don't really live there anymore. I don't know if I'd actually care about them." Thomas, don't you care about your friends anymore? Yeah, said Burnett Stone. What about Gordon, and Percy, and James, and Toby, and all of your friends? They're not really my friends anymore, said Thomas. I left Sodor for a reason, you know, and this is that reason. And he told them everything that had happened. So, said Burnett, this is it. Sodor falls to Diesel 10 and PT Boomer? No, said Thomas, you're right. We should help them. Seriously. Say, wait a minute. How'd you guys find me anyways? And how'd you get off Sodor? Well, we never really got onto Sodor, said Lady. The magic railroad connects to London. So, we just kind of went through there. Clever, said Thomas. Well, actually, said Mr. Stone, I was on Sodor for a little while. I noticed that a diesel was chasing your friend Percy, so I switched the points to let Percy get away. Unfortunately, there are a lot of diesels on Sodor right now, so they've probably found him again. I also went to Tidmouth Sheds to encourage some engines that were being held there. And then how'd you find me? Well, you were on the news, said Burnett. Do you remember that day when you brought Bruce Wayne into Rome? And there was a reporter there, and a camera. You were in the background, on TV. I see, said Thomas. And then? Well, we made some inquiries and found out that this shed, was your main home now. Ah, said Thomas. I get it. Just then a man walked up. It was Mr. Crinkets. Hello, Thomas, he said. I have a letter for you. Oh, thank you, said Thomas. Here, just give it to Mr. Stone over there. So Mr. Crinkets gave Burnett Stone the letter. Then he waved goodbye and walked away. Let's see what this letter is, said Mr. Stone. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it's from Diesel 10. What? Said Thomas. How do you find me here? I guess he saw that news broadcast as well. Well, let's read it. So he opened the letter and looked inside. Dear Thomas. Or, not so dear Thomas. Heh, that's a joke. Get it? You know, Diesel 10 really isn't that funny, said Lady. And how's he writing this anyway? Probably it was P.T. Boomer writing this, said Thomas. Anyways, continue, Mr. Stone. So Burnett continued. Just to let you know, I have captured all your dearest friends and trapped them at Brendam Docks. You have 3 days to get back here and surrender yourself to us. Otherwise, well, let's just say your friends will come to... I don't really know what I'm saying anymore. So, P.T. Boomer, stop writing, okay? Stop. You can end the sentence now. That's all there is. Wow, said Thomas. I wonder what's going to happen to my friends. Let's not find out, said Grant. Let's make sure it never happens. Let's fight Diesel 10, whoever he is. We can do that, said Thomas. But first, you need to call up the police force, or rather your driver does. Right, said Grant. In the meantime, we better get our move on to Sodor. We only have 3 days to get there, you know. Yep, said Thomas. Let's go. You coming, Lady? Actually, said Lady, no, I'm not. What? Said Thomas. Why not? Well, I can only run on an island of Sodor coal, and I don't have that much left in my bunker, and it's not as though I can just go on to Sodor and get some more anymore. That's true, said Thomas. Well, how much do you have left? Not enough to get back to Sodor, I'm afraid, said Lady. Yes, I'm sorry, Thomas, but we won't be coming with you. Oh well, said Thomas. Don't worry, we'll win Sodor for you. Come on, Grant, let's go. 2 days later, Thomas and Grant were ready. The police had boarded Grant's train, and they were sure that Diesel 10 was doing something illegal, after Burnett Stone had told them that he had seen men walking around with guns on Sodor. Thomas and Grant had also worked out a plan of action. Grant and the police would go through London to the Magic Railroad. Thomas had assumed that Diesel 10, when he had captured Thomas, would force Thomas to show him the magic buffers. Thomas would then lead Diesel 10 through the magic buffers, and Grant would be waiting there with the police. Since Diesel 10 did not know that the Magic Railroad could be accessed through London, this was an ideal strategy. Are you ready, Grant? Said Thomas. I'm ready, said Grant, and together the two friends set off to Sodor. After a few hours of travel, Thomas and Grant came to a switch. The tracks here split off in two directions. Thomas was to go one way and get back to Sodor. Grant was to go the other way and get to the magic railroad. Well, see you soon, I hope, said Thomas, and he puffed down one track. The track was then switched, and Grant went the other way. After another few hours of traveling, Thomas reached the bridge onto Sodor. Well, here goes nothing, he said, once again, as he climbed onto the bridge. Thomas stopped just before going down the other side of the bridge and going onto Sodor. The island seemed peaceful, although Thomas knew that within the boundaries of the fair island, terrible things were taking place. Well, I've got to go save the day, I guess, said Thomas. So he puffed down onto Sodor and went to the docks to save his friends. Thomas's closest friends were in dismay. Well, the 3 days are almost up, said Henry. What 3 days? Said Percy. Don't you remember when Diesel 10 and P.T. Boomer were writing that letter over here? They said Thomas had 3 days to find us? Yeah, said Percy. Well, forget it, guys. I guess he's not coming. What makes you say that? Said Toby. Isn't it obvious? Said James. Why would he come and rescue us? We haven't exactly been being nice to him lately. That's right, said Gordon. We've all been shunning him because he caused that accident. Well, I think we should forgive him, said Edward. What makes you think he'll forgive us? Said Duck. I don't know, said Percy. I don't think he will. I hope he does, said Edward. We can all hope, but to find out we'll just have to wait. And if he doesn't come, said Henry, well, that's it for us. Just then they heard the humming of diesels. That sounds like Splatter and Dodge. It looks like Splatter and Dodge, said Henry. But who's that with them? Look who we found, said Dodge. It's Thomas, said Percy. Thomas, you came. Hello, Percy, said Thomas. Nice to, see you again. Keep moving, said Splatter. You've got to show us where those magic buffers are. And before Thomas could say anything else to anyone, the diesels had taken him away. Well, I guess he came, said Henry. Yeah, said Bertie. Not as though it's gonna do much good. The diesels are probably just gonna get rid of him. Get rid of him? Said Sir Topham Hatt. Get rid of him. Not on my railway. It's not really a railway anymore, sir, said Henry. The diesels have kind of taken over it. Yeah, said Edward. They kind of have. Have you noticed? I suppose I have. Even over the lack of coffee and donuts, this is the most terrible thing that has ever happened. But anyways, I think I can get out. Out of what? This rope? You're kind of tied to me, sir, said Bertie. I know, said Sir Topham Hatt. But they tied me up right next to your door. So, said Bertie. So, there's a manual open on it, right? It doesn't have to be opened by your driver from the inside. That's true, said Bertie. Sir Topham Hatt, you're a genius. Open that door. That's what I'm trying to do, but it's kind of hard to do behind my back. But eventually Sir Topham Hatt got the door open, and he fell backwards inside Bertie. Here we are, said Thomas. We're at the yards. This is where the magic buffers are? Said Dodge. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Didn't you two already know the location of the magic buffers? Well, we did, said Splatter, but we kind of, didn't remember? Forgot? Lost memory of it? Oh, said Thomas. Well, do you see where Salty and Harvey are over there? Salty and Harvey looked. Hang on, said Harvey. Isn't that Thomas? That's right, said Neville. It's Thomas. Look, there he is, said Derek. It really is him, isn't it? Yeah, said Hank, but he's kind of in custody of the diesels. That's right, said Dodge. Now which set of buffers is it? Well, like I was trying to say, the buffers are behind Salty and Harvey. Oh, great, said Dodge. That means we'll have to move Hank, Derek, and Neville and then Salty and Harvey just to get to them. Well, this could take a while. So what's up with all the milk I've been seeing at the docks anyways, said Thomas. Well, the boss has given us permission to tell you all about our plans since you'll be finished in a few minutes. Wait, what about my friends? Said Thomas. Oh, don't worry, said Splatter. We'll let them live, as our slaves. No more shunting work from now on, said Dodge. But you still didn't answer my question, said Thomas. What's with all the milk I've been seeing? Well, you see, said Splatter, it really isn't milk at all. Those containers are full of nitroglycerin, a highly explosive chemical that's used to make dynamite. Dynamite? Said Thomas. Why do you guys want dynamite? Very simple, said Dodge. P.T. Boomer's part of the agreement was that he'd help Diesel 10. And Diesel 10's part of the agreement was that he'd A, get Lady, and B, get the island of Sodor as a home base for Boomer to carry out his plan. Which is, said Thomas, build explosives and threaten the capital of England with it, then he can take over England and get super rich. This guy really is nuts, said Thomas. Actually, said Dodge, he's kind of brilliant. Without him, we wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are now. Yeah, said Splatter, so stop insulting him. Dodge moved Harvey and Salty out of the way. I'm sorry, guys, said Thomas. This was the only way. Well, good luck, Thomas, said Harvey. Aye, aye, Captain, said Salty. At last, the buffers were clear. Ready? Said Dodge. Ready, said Splatter. Alright, make Thomas go in first. So, Splatter pushed Thomas towards the buffers. See you later, guys. Wait, where's he going? Said Stanley. Without warning, Thomas disappeared through the buffers, followed by Splatter. Then Dodge raced after them. They just disappeared, said Murdoch. How is that possible? I don't know, said Arthur, but I hope Thomas knows what he's doing. He's a smart engine, said Charlie. Yeah, said the Flying Scotsman, but there's probably no hope for us. There's still hope, said Stanley, just not much of it. When Dodge came through the buffers, he came out on the other side by another set of buffers. He could see in front of him that Splatter and Thomas had stopped. Hey, what's holding you up? Well, said Splatter, we came through that set of buffers somehow, magically, just to get to another set of buffers. What gives, Thomas? Well, said Thomas, this part is considered the Magic Railroad. If you go through there, then you get to Shining Time. Technically, that's still considered the Magic Railroad since it's only accessible through here. Really? Said Dodge. Really, said Thomas. Well, if you want to get to Shining Time, which is the real jackpot, you gotta go through that one more set of buffers. I don't know how this is all working out, says Splatter, but I hope it, well, is working out. So we pushed Thomas into the next set of buffers. Thomas disappeared, and then so did Splatter. Dodge raced after them and also disappeared. Dodge burst through the buffers and stopped. There in front of him was a policeman pointing a gun in his face. What is this? Said Dodge. This, said the policeman, is an example of why you have the right to remain silent. Hey, that's an American thing, not an English thing. I know, but I like saying it anyways. Up ahead, Splatter was being covered by two more policemen. One was another officer, and the other was a captain. Alright, guys, he said. Anyone who's in those vehicles, come out now. Splatter and Dodge's drivers did come out, but they came out the other side. Luckily, there were policemen on the other side of both Splatter and Dodge, and the drivers were quickly arrested. Anyone else? Said the captain. Well played, Thomas, came a voice, and stepping out of Splatter came P.T. Boomer. Boomer, said Thomas. You. Yes, it's me, said Boomer. What are you gonna do about it, huh? Oh, by the way, it may interest you to know that while I was in Splatter's cab, I pressed a button on a little remote control I had. Which did? Oh, nothing much. Just started the countdown on an explosive device I planted near your friends at Brendam Docks. I believe you have less than 2 minutes to get back to them and save them if you can." 2 minutes? Said Thomas. "Come on, Grant, we've got to get back to my friends. Men, take these loser diesels away." "We are not loser diesels," said Splatter, but the policeman quickly boarded them. Splatter and Dodge were helplessly driven into a siding. "Ah, come on," they said. "Come on, Grant," said Thomas. "Let's go." And he raced away. Grant followed him, and soon they were both away through the magic buffers. "Alright, come on, you," said the captain. "Fine," said Boomer. "I got what I wanted anyways, or part of it." A moment later, Thomas had raced back through the buffers onto Sodor. Grant quickly followed. "It's Thomas," said Charlie. "He escaped." "And who's that with him?" said Neil. "Never mind," said Thomas. "What's the fastest way to Brendam? Oh, wait, I know that. See you guys later." And Grant followed Thomas as they both raced away. "Wow," said Molly. "I wonder what's going on." "Don't know if I want to find out," said Murdoch. Back at the docks, there was indeed an explosive device, ready to blow up the engines at any moment. "Help!" said Percy. "Oh, how I wish Lady was here with me." "Lady?" said Henry. "Why?" No reason," said Percy. Meanwhile, Sir Topham Hatt was struggling to find a blade within Bertie that he could use to sever the rope to get out. "Hurry, Sir Topham Hatt," said Bertie. "There's not much time. I can hear the fuse running down on that dynamite." The dynamite was indeed about ready to blow up. "He'll never make it," cried Henry. "Well, it was nice knowing you guys," said James. "Better brace ourselves," said Edward. "Yeah," said Gordon. "And you know, up there, Henry, you can pull the express more often." "Well, gee, I appreciate the thought, Gordon," said Henry. "Oh dear," said Duck. "Well, goodbye, Great Western Branch Line." Just then Sir Topham Hatt broke the rope. "Hooray," he said, "I've done it. Now I've got to go defuse that dynamite." But he was very slow. He was malnourished from lack of food. "He will never make it," said Percy. "Oh, I'm so sorry, Sir Topham Hatt. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh, Lady, where are you?" "Right here," came a voice, and before anyone could think of anything else, Lady shot out of nowhere and bumped the cars hard. They flew off the track and dumped into the sea. A few seconds passed, and then suddenly there was a massive explosion that rocked the entire harbor. Every crane, every engine, and Bertie shook as the shockwave from the explosion rattled the dockside. "Whoa!" said Sir Topham Hatt. He fell over, knocked off of his feet by the shockwave. "Oh! Oh! Ow! My back!" Thomas and Grant, rushing as fast as they could to Brendam Docks, had heard and seen the explosion. "Oh no," said Thomas. "I'm too late." "Maybe you're not," said Grant. "Maybe they're still there." "No, no one could survive a blast like that," said Thomas. "I could see the cloud from over here. It was huge. Didn't you see it?" "Yes, I suppose I did," said Grant. "But still, we should check." "Yeah," said Thomas. Tears were now rolling down his cheeks, big and profuse. "Come on." And together, he and Grant rolled away towards the docks. But when Thomas and Grant arrived at the docks, they could see that Thomas's friends were still there. "Gordon?" said Thomas. "Duck? Edward? James? Henry? Toby? Percy, you're all alive!" "I'm alive too," came a voice. "Bertie!" said Thomas. You're all here! It's a miracle!" "I call it luck," said Grant. "I call it Lady," said Burnett Stone. "Lady!" said Thomas. "What are you doing here? How'd you get here? I thought you said you didn't have enough coal." "Well," said Lady, "I lied." "You did?" said Thomas. "Why?" "I didn't want to... Well, I've been following you, just to make sure that your plan went all right." "Well," said Thomas, "everything did go all right, I guess, but we've still got to find Diesel 10 and take this island back." "What about us?" said Toby. we can't really do anything. None of our drivers are here." "I can serve as someone's driver," said Sir Topham Hatt, "but there's not many other people, I'm afraid." "Well," said Lady, "I am carrying one other passenger." "Who's that?" asked Thomas. "It's me, Mr. Crinkets." "Hello again, Thomas." "Mr. Crinkets," said Thomas, "what are you doing here?" "Well, Lady said you might need my help. I am, pretty skilled in martial arts, you know." "Hi-yah! Ugh. Well, maybe not so much, but I can operate an engine. I hear that is what needs to be done right now." "True," said Thomas. "Okay, so that's one other engine that gets a driver. What about the rest of them?" "You can count on us," came a voice, and up walked the man that had sued Sir Topham Hatt. "You," said Sir Topham Hatt. "What are you doing here?" "I," said the man, "am Commissioner Moonstone of the London Police Force, and these are my men. Here is my captain, and 2 of my officers. We can learn how to operate engines if you teach us." "Oh, very well," said Sir Topham Hatt, "though I still don't know if I trust you. Do you want this island back or not, Mr. Hatt?" "That's Sir Topham—" "Oh, very well. Go ahead, choose an engine. We've got to take this island back." "Yeah," said Thomas. "Come on, let's go." There still weren't quite enough people to operate all of the engines. However, Percy, Henry, Toby, Bertie, James, and Edward now had drivers. "All right," said James, "let's find those diesels and turn them into, heavily damaged diesels?" "Yeah, good idea," said Henry. "Right," said Thomas. "Lady and Grant, you guys can come with me. We're gonna find Diesel 10. The rest of you, take care of any other diesels that are wandering around." "You can count on us, Thomas," said Henry. Diesel, Airy, and Bert were resting outside of Tidmouth's sheds. "I'm so bored," said Airy. "There's absolutely nothing to do around here." "Yeah," said Bert. "Taking over the island was great and all, but I wish I could do something exciting right about now." "Hello," said a voice. It was Percy. "How are you guys doing today?" "It's Percy," said Diesel. "How did he escape?" "Well, I think the weather's nice, don't you guys?" None of the Diesels noticed, as Percy's driver, who was one of the policemen, climbed out of Percy and snuck towards Tidmouth's sheds. "Come on, guys," said Diesel. "Let's get him." "Get me?" said Percy. "But I was just thinking about... Oh, that's a nice cloud, isn't it?" "Oh, I hate this guy," said Diesel. "Come on." But just then, Oliver banged right into Diesel from behind. Diesel slid across the turntable and crashed on the other side. "Ow," he said. "Oliver, how'd you do that?" "He had a little help from me," came a voice. And out of Oliver's cab stepped Percy's driver/policeman. "All right, you guys and those 2 Diesels, you guys are under arrest. In the name of the law." Meanwhile, in the yard, Norman and the Bronze Diesel had come to inspect the magic buffers, but they weren't really doing their job. "I'm telling you," said Norman, "the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are far better than the Harry Potter movies." "Nonsense," said the Bronze Diesel. "The Harry Potter movies rock. I don't know what your problem is." "I have no problem, Scrunge," said Norman. "Your problem is that..." "Hello, Diesels," came a voice. It was James. James puffed around the bend and stopped to look at the Diesels. "Lovely day, isn't it?" "Hey, what are you doing here? And how'd you escape from the docks?" "Oh, magic," said James. "See?" said Norman. "Magic comes from the Harry Potter series. That makes it worse. But the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are so... Without any warning, James charged one of the Diesels, Bronze Diesel. He was knocked backwards and flew through the magic buffers. "Well, that takes care of one," said James. "I'll get you for this," said Norman. He backed up and prepared to charge James, but at the last second, James shot forward. Norman shot around the bend and came off near the switch. Just then, Edward arrived. "Oh, hello, James," he said. "I was going to help you out here, but it looks like you've got things pretty much cleaned up." "Yes, I do," said James. It must be the magic in my shiny red paint. Oh, enough talk about magic, said Norman. Diesel 10 was in the quarry when suddenly, Spam Cannon Bowler raced up. Sir! No, me first, said Bowler. Me first, said Spam Can. My news is more important. Oh, shut up, the both of you, said Diesel 10. What's going on, Bowler? See? Haha. My news is more important. Just start talking. Okay. Sorry, boss. Anyways, most of our fellow diesels have been captured by the steam engines. What? Said Diesel 10. They've escaped? Yes, Thomas included, and they've gotten help from the police. Oh, this is bad. What about Boomer? He's in custody as far as we know. Oh, I hate that Thomas, said Diesel 10. He can never let my plans work. And for good reason, came a voice. There, puffing down the line, was Thomas. It's over, Diesel 10. You, said Diesel 10. You've ruined my plans for the last time. He extended his claw and started clanging it. Suddenly, from behind Diesel 10, the points started switching. What? Said Diesel 10. What's going on? Who's switching those points? And from behind Diesel 10, Grant shot out and onto Bowler's line. He gave Bowler a huge bash, and Bowler came off the rails. Ouch, he said. That doesn't feel very good. Obviously, said Grant. The point switched again. This time, Lady raced through the quarry. Hello, Diesel 10. Bye, Diesel 10. He banged into Spam Can. He too came off the rails. Ha ha, said Lady. You! And you! Who are you? Said Diesel 10. Me? Said Grant. Oh, just one of your enemies. No one important. I told you, Thomas, said Diesel 10. You ruined my plans for the last time. And now I'm going to prove it. He extended his claw and started moving towards Thomas. Thomas started backing away. Guys, he said, what are we supposed to do now? I don't know, said Grant, this was your idea. Wait, can't we just talk this out, Diesel 10? Not likely, said Diesel 10.
Show's over, boss. I'll always side with Sodor. You've been spying on me, haven't you?
Okay, Mavis, said Diesel 10. I'll attend to you later. But if you'll excuse me, I have unfinished business to... We're gonna stop you, Diesel 10. Oh, and how are you gonna do that? With an unopened jar of sugar and no way to access my fuel tank. Nope, not sugar, said Mavis. We're gonna stop you with flour. Flour, said Diesel 10. What's that supposed to mean? Just then a cart full of flour came racing down through the mine. It derailed and ran right into Diesel 10. Oof, he said. Flour? Oh, come on, who pushed that car? That would be me, said Toby. Hello, Diesel 10. The old teapot, said Diesel 10. Old, useless teapot. Not so useless after all, I guess, said Toby. Before long, all of the diesels, all of Boomer's henchmen, and Max and Monty had been rounded up. And all of Thomas's friends, and some of the bad guys, were gathered at the quarry, waiting to hear Sir Topham Hatt's announcement. Sir Topham Hatt stepped forward. Ahem, he said. I would like to congratulate Thomas and all of his friends on a job well done, freeing the island of the tyranny imposed by P.T. Boomer and Diesel 10. There was a chorus of whistles and horns. Also, he said, I would like to thank, Mr. Commissioner here for giving me back all of the money he took from me when he sued me. He's giving it all back? Said Thomas. Yes, I am, said the Commissioner. I am a responsible policeman, and all responsible policemen know that there is such thing as forgiveness. That's right, said Sir Topham Hatt. He's even offered to throw in a box of donuts, which I gladly accepted. I helped your railway out, and I'm truly sorry for suing you. Why, thank you, said Sir Topham Hatt, but the donuts would have been enough. Anyways, I still have to deal with a few of these diesels. Diesel 10 in particular. What should we do with him? I have an idea, sir, said Lady. What's that? Well, I could take him to the Magic Railroad. What? Why? Because, said Lady, maybe there we can get his claw removed, and he can be a really useful diesel. No, said Diesel 10, you can't do that. I like my claw. Sorry, said Sir Topham Hatt, but I think I like Lady's idea. Very well, you can go through with it. Also, who is this? Oh, my name is Grant. I'm from another railway. The Eurorail railway, actually. I see, said Sir Topham Hatt. And your controller is? Mr. Crinkets. Ah, that's who he was. Anyways, are there any more questions to be asked? I have a question, said Percy. What's gonna happen to all the diesels that, actually worked on this railway, but helped out Diesel 10? Ah, I was hoping someone would ask that, said Sir Topham Hatt. I am going to deal with them personally. As you can imagine, I am not very pleased with any of them. Except for Mavis, who at the last second revealed that she was a spy, and she and Toby were the ones who eventually brought down Diesel 10. So, she will be rewarded with a new coat of paint and a promotion at the quarry. A promotion, sir? Said Mavis. Yes, said Sir Topham Hatt. I am promoting you to head engine of the quarry. From now on, if the quarry foreman does not come to work, or something like that, you get to make the executive decisions. Oh, thank you, sir, said Mavis. That will be a wonderful reward. And Thomas, said Sir Topham Hatt, I truly am sorry for blaming you for causing that accident. But didn't I cause that accident? Nope, said Sir Topham Hatt. I asked Oliver over there, and he said he saw Diesel bump some rocks in the yard the day it happened. I could only assume that Diesel was responsible for denting a hole in that tanker. I questioned him, and eventually he confessed. Phew, said Thomas. That's a big weight off of my metaphorical chest. Yes, I would guess it would be, said Sir Topham Hatt. Anyways, this henchman of Mr. Boomer here decided to tell us that there are also diesels on the narrow gauge and Coley Fell railways. Oh, and the Arlesdale Railway. They had taken over there, but luckily we were able to sort things out. We had also discovered that Harold the helicopter and the rest of the air vehicles had been grounded, along with Captain, our loyal lifeboat. Oh, wait, I probably shouldn't call him a lifeboat. Anyways, they had been taken over by the diesels and their henchmen as well. So, luckily, everything is back in order now. Another chorus of whistles and cheers and horns greeted this. Well, said Grant, now that all of that is settled, I think it's time for me to head back. Head back, said Thomas, but you just got here. I know, said Grant, but I think from what I've heard of your railway's record, I'd like to stay back on the Eurorail railway. What makes you say that? Said Percy. Are you kidding? Said Grant. You guys can't go 2 days without having someone have a major accident, and every time you turn around, Diesel 10 is back trying to take over the island again. I don't think I'd like to stay here. It's a nice railway and all, but, Very well, said Sir Topham Hatt. You may go if you like. Now, Commissioner, please take this henchman away. His presence is ruining my image. So the Commissioner brought the henchman away. Now then, said Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas, there's one more thing. Yes, sir? From now on, you will have your branch line back, and you won't have to shunt in the yard anymore. I saw what came from that, Oh, thank you, sir, said Thomas. I hope Annie and Clarabelle will be pleased to see me. I'm sure they will be, said Sir Topham Hatt. And now, all those who are leaving, please leave. Wait, said Boulder. What about us? Yeah, said Spamcam. You must have brought us here for a reason. Ah, yes, said Sir Topham Hatt. Grant, if you wouldn't mind, please take all of these diesels back to England. The police will then try to find out the railways from whence they came, and take them back there. Yes, sir, said Grant. Anyways, Lady, do you mind if I follow you? Follow me? Said Lady. Yeah, through the magic buffers, and then I can take the Shining Time Railway through to London. You're joking, said Diesel 10. All this time, I've been trying to invade Sodor just so I can find the magic buffers, and you're telling me I can get the Shining Time through London? Yeah? Oh dear, said Diesel-10, but then he said nothing more. So Sir Topham Hatt stepped out of the way. Goodbye, everyone, said Lady. I hope I'll see you again soon. Wait, said Percy. What is it, Percy? Said Lady. Lady, do you mind if Sure, 6 o'clock tomorrow, said Lady. See ya. And Lady puffed away. Grant then coupled up to Diesel-10 in the long line of foreign diesels. You know, said Grant, life is a lot like a railway. You go along the tracks, and occasionally you hit bends and turns and things like that, and you come to switches where you have to make choices. Sometimes your lines cross with other lines, and eventually you come to buffers. And I think most people would say that the buffers are the end. But sometimes the buffers are just the beginning, and you can go right through them. Thomas smiled. Nice metaphor, Grant. Do come back sometime, won't you? I suppose I can stand a visit sometime, said Grant. Goodbye, Thomas. And he puffed away with his long line of diesels. Now, there's a few questions you probably still have. For instance, what happened to Cranky? Did he ever get put back by the docks? The answer is yes. Eventually, Thomas and his friends were able to haul Cranky out of the sea and get Cranky functioning again. He was very glad to be back. Another question you might have is what happened to Max and Monty? Here is the answer. Miss Jenny, who was in charge of the construction team, dealt with them very severely. I won't tell you exactly what kind of punishment she gave them, but I hope it was enough to ensure that they would never cause trouble again. And still, one final question remains. Did Diesel-10 ever come back to the island of Sodor? The answer to that question, my friends, I'm afraid I will not reveal to you here. I do hope that someday you will visit Thomas and all of his friends on Sodor again, some way or another, be it through a video or physically. But for now, this tale must end. This tale of steam engines and diesel engines, of good and evil, of betrayal and trust, of friends and foes, the tale of an engine abroad.